We're gonna meet up with a couple friends that live in Milan. One of them's a videographer and one of them's a model. And I have a fun new rig that I put together with my gimbal and some accessories from SmallRig. We're gonna try that out. Welcome to Milan. I'm here outside the Duomo with Martina, and we got Marco shooting VTS and Kobe also shooting VTS. So what we're doing today is we're going to try out a new configuration of this DJI RS4 Mini gimbal using some SmallRig accessories. I'm using the SmallRig side handle on the side of my gimbal to give me a second handle, and I'm also using a phone clamp from SmallRig, and I've got my iPhone 16 on the clamp. And then my phone is connected to the camera with a USB-C cable, and I'm running an app to monitor and control what I'm doing, and the app is conveniently called Monitor and Control. I'm also using this SmallRig mounting plate that was specifically designed for the RS4 Mini. It is Arca compatible, which means you don't need to use the dedicated plate for the RS4 Mini. You can use any Arca compatible tripod plate and it will still work. So the cool thing about this setup, and the reason I am using the SmallRig side handle, is because now I can grip the handle with my hand and then use my thumb to control the focus. And if you notice, there's no focus gears at all on my lens. And I'm getting this perfectly smooth manual focus control. And there's a lot of different parameters that you can set here. You can choose the speed, so I can make it faster, I can make it slower. You can also choose the scale of the focus meter. So I could zoom it in for very fine focus control, or I could zoom it out. So hopefully that will open up some new creative opportunities as we shoot around this beautiful city with Martina and Marco and Kobe. And let's see what we get. 3, 2, 1, turn back. Action. Gonna do a quick lens change here, changing out to my 100mm because we're in a big, thick crowd, and I think it will be interesting to see her moving through the crowd from a longer lens perspective because it will compress everything. It will make it seem even more crowded. Let's go. And right now I'm in FPV mode on my gimbal, which gives me sort of a handheld look because I have the speed of the FPV mode turned all the way up to 100. Perfect light now at sunset. I'm going to use the gimbal here in flashlight mode. That means that the camera is pointed straight out and the gimbal's held flat. I'm using both handles because that makes it steadier. It's easier for me to maneuver. And then I can adjust the tilt on the phone like this according to the angle that I need. So if I'm shooting at a high angle, I can tilt the phone down. If I'm shooting at a low angle, then I can tilt the phone back up. And my gimbal is in FPV mode, 100% speed, responsive. And I've turned off all the stabilization in the camera. That gives us a very loose, almost handheld kind of look. And the lens on the camera is a 24mm. Let's see how this looks. And action.
One of the great things about shooting in FPV mode with this dual handle rig is that I really felt free to move with the subject. So as Martina improvised her moves, I could also improvise the camera moves and keep up with her in real time.
Quick tip about reviewing your footage in public. So when I'm reviewing my footage, I set the camera down and then I point the lens toward the ground, like that. That way, as people are walking around, they don't think that I'm like trying to film them, especially because it's on the ground and this is kind of a low perspective. People might get the wrong idea. So yeah, point your lens to the ground when you're playing your footage back, basically. Now I've switched up the rig a little bit. I'm still using the dual handles here for stability, but the phone is no longer in this clamp. I'm now using a second phone clamp on the gimbal, and my phone is now my main camera. So what we have here is a quick release SmallRig phone clamp. It's an Arca-Swiss quick release, and you can just slide it in and then lock it off. And now this is a phone gimbal. And my phone is in my SmallRig case that I co-designed with them. And the cool thing about this case is that it allows you to use filters. So because it's bright and we're shooting in the daytime, I can use my variable ND filter on my phone, on the gimbal, and get the correct shutter speed, the correct shutter angle to have that cinematic motion blur. So let's try out some shots.
Even though iPhones have great built-in stabilization, it is still helpful to use a gimbal to keep the phone pointed exactly in the orientation you want, and also to keep the horizon perfectly level. And you can use the appropriate shutter speed because you're not relying on a fast shutter to make the stabilization work better.
The app that I'm using here is Blackmagic Camera. This is a free app that lets you do all manual settings on your phone, white balance, shutter speed, everything. And you can also choose in this app to record your Apple log in H.265. So basically, if you don't want to record massive files on your phone when you're shooting log, I recommend Blackmagic Camera app. Once again, it is free. Go. There's a SmallRig accessory that I didn't get a chance to use when I was in Milan, so I'm recording a little extra segment here to talk about it. That is this extension arm, this arm right here. So this is a carbon fiber composite extension that's especially made for the RS Mini series, RS3, RS4, and it fits perfectly on the bottom of the gimbal so that it doesn't slip or twist while you're using it. And on the bottom of it, you can attach more accessories through the 1/4" screw. So that's how I attached my side handle, which lets me operate it like this. So this extension arm lets me use my gimbal at a really high angle or also at a ground level low angle. And with this current setup using the side handle, I can still monitor what I'm shooting using my phone and the monitor and control app. Recently, I did use this configuration for a short film where I needed a high angle tracking shot for the opening shot of a scene. We've got the SmallRig extension carbon fiber rod right here, and that's attached to some generic carbon fiber rod that I already had. So I held the extension arm up over my head, and then I just walked smoothly and got the shot. And here's the final footage. Next up, I'm going to try out this flashlight from SmallRig. This is actually made just for video shooting or photography because it has a special beam that has an even spread. It doesn't have a hot spot in the center, so it looks a lot better on camera. And you can also press this button and change the color. There's 4 different colors to choose from. And it also comes with an assortment of gobos. These are specially cut little plastic discs that you can use to shape the light. In this case, it would simulate a window. And you attach the gobos to the light using this collapsible rubber hood. Putting on the rubber hood on the flashlight, just like that. So you start looking up that way, and then look the opposite way.
To make the light look a bit more natural to the environment, I made sure to keep it a few meters away from the subject, and also I had Kobe hold it at a high angle. That way, the light would hopefully appear to be coming from one of the nearby bars.
Okay, switching out the gobo, now I'm going to try out this strip. It's just a narrow strip, so that should give me a lot of control over where the light's going. I'm going to angle it so it's just off her eyes. I'm just curious to see how that looks. It's like just below her eyes.
The best thing about using this flashlight is that you get a very controlled, focused beam of light. So even though it has a low wattage, you still get a decent level, and the light only goes exactly where you need it. So that concludes this little lighting experiment, and I want to say thank you to SmallRig for sponsoring this video.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Brandon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm going to put their tags in the bottom of the screen. You can follow Marco and Martina if you want. And otherwise, there's going to be links in the description if you want to know more about the gear. And thanks for showing me Milan. Thank you both for coming out.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you.
See ya.
Bye.